Let's talk about some ideas from the field of statistics. First is the bell curve or normal distribution or Gaussian distribution, which is a probability distribution usually found more frequently than other kinds of distribution. Let's look at that, the graph part of it. This is the bell curve. This is the bell curve. Here you have, let us say you have a class of students and you are plotting, you are measuring IQ of every student and then you are plotting it on a graph. So this is low IQ, this is high IQ, and this is individual student. You take each student, plot his IQ, and then connect them through a curve. What you will find is that this is the people with extremely low IQ, let us say below normal. These are the people with extremely high IQ, above average, exceptional people, and these are your average people. And mostly you will find that this is how many, the frequency, how many people fall in this range. So you'll find that only a few are here, only a few are here, and most are in the middle or in the average part of it. So that is a crucial learning that basically we have, and this happens in nature mostly. Some people are extremely poor in terms of capabilities. Some people are extremely talented, gifted, geniuses, and most are average. So average is the largest number. So most people are average. So only a few are extremely below average. I mean, substandard and way below standard. So some are very bad, most are average, and only a few are very good. So this distribution happens. U is something, normal distribution or bell curve or Gaussian distribution is something that you will find mostly occurring in nature, and this is an important thing. So you will find more number of average people who are in the middle of the range in any quality, IQ or something else. Few who are extremely low on that particular score, and some are extremely gifted, whether it is IQ or some other talent or something. So this, whether it is talking of individuals or other naturally occurring phenomena, this is what we generally find, and this is what one must keep in mind, the bell curve, that you find a few very highly talented individuals, a few extremely poor individuals in terms of talent, and most are in the average. And so in terms of numbers also, maximum number of the largest number of people in the population would be in the middle range, the average people. So average has the size of the bell is like that. So a few here, and most in the middle, the bell-shaped curve. That's called a bell curve because it is shaped like a bell. And the middle part, which is at the top, is the largest part, because the largest number of people are in the middle, they are average. Only a few are extremely poor, and only a few are extremely show extremely high value in any particular dimension or characteristic. Important to keep this in mind. The second principle is the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle, Pareto, Pareto, named after a gentleman's name. I think an Italian gentleman, Pareto. And Pareto's principle, or also known as 80-20 rule, is again something that you encounter very often, that 80% result or outcomes comes from 20% of inputs. So in a business, let's say you are a consultant and you have clients. So only 20% of your clients give you 80% of your business. Let's say your total business, you have a number of clients. But only some clients are giving you a lot of business, whereas most clients are not giving you enough business. And these clients are repetitive clients, right? So only a few are important. Only 20% are responsible for 80% of your revenue stream. So only 20% customers, important customers, fewer in number but more powerful, more important to you, more significant to you. The rest are many more. You have plenty of customers, but put together they only give you 20% of your business, whereas only a few give you the majority of your business. In many kinds of things, this is so. There is a dominant set, this 20% people. This also this is also something that we come across in inventory management, which is known as ABC classification, where A category items, B category items, and C category items that you have in stock. A category items are the highest value items. B category items are in terms of cost. B category items are middle of the lot. And C category items are the lowest, least costly items. So you have a lot of stock. But mostly you will find C category items. In terms of quantity or number, you will find that you are holding a large number of C category items. You have middle, when it comes to B category, they are less than C. And A are the smallest number, but they are the highest in value. So you are obviously going to focus more on A category items, class A items. And it is easier also to do that because the number is not very high, the categories are not very high. Only a few items are A category items, and they are highly expensive items. So you focus on that, the class A items. And they are not too many in terms of classes or numbers or quantity or amount or categories, there are few. But they account for the largest portion of your inventory cost. So most of the inventory, if you talk of it in terms of total cost, most of the cost comes from A class items, but in terms of quantity, they are the smallest. And in terms of quantity, the highest category is C, but their value is the lowest. Again, 80-20, something similar, 70-20-10 or something like that. So basically, a lot of unimportant items and only a few very important items. So this is again some sort of a Pareto principle in inventory. And an extension I would say is that in business also, you work in one direction, you put a lot of efforts in one direction, but you don't get results from this direction, and you don't put any efforts or very few efforts in some other direction, and you get results from that direction. So sometimes results come from unexpected directions. The direction that you would expect it to come from would be the area in which you put your maximum efforts. But the area in which you put your maximum efforts doesn't give you much result or very fruitful outcomes or only a few fruitful outcomes. And the area which you didn't really do much on or maybe did nothing, and suddenly out of the blue some good news comes from that area and maybe business comes from that area. So some sort of an extension of a Pareto principle, I don't know, but this is interesting. And finally, let's talk about William Edwards Deming, the father of quality movement. He was an American who went to Japan and taught quality to the Japanese, he and then Joseph Juran. And Deming became famous in Japan, and the whole Japanese quality management revolution started because they started following Deming's principles. William Edwards Deming. And Deming was not known in America. He went to Japan, the Japanese followed him, then he became known globally. He was an American who went to Japan and talked about quality and gave ideas and all that. And the Japanese accepted those ideas, and the initial revolution of quality that came from Japan can be attributed to some extent to these teachings of Deming and then Juran. And Deming believed that we talk too much about individuals, and when we talk of improvement, when we talk of evaluating performance or evaluating individuals, and we worry about individuals and this is a good performer, bad performer. He said this is statistical. Some are automatically, like in distribution thing, statistical distribution. Some are naturally going to be better than the others. Some are going to be poor, some are going to be mediocre and all that. So that's just a natural thing. and then you are worrying about too much about rewarding for high performance and looking at individual performance and all that. So you are focused too much on individual performance and what separates one individual from the other. He says this separation of performance is almost natural and automatic. Some individuals there is going to be an almost natural automatic variation of performance from individual to individual. This is just natural, like some sort of distribution, statistical distribution, because individuals are not alike. So that's natural. So don't fixate too much on individual performance. If you really want to improve the overall performance of the organization, then focus on the overall system, not on the individuals. And most problems are system related, not people related or individual related. So solutions are also system related. Improvements and large performance improvement will also come from system improvements and system changes, rather than focusing on individual performers and motivating some individuals and punishing some individuals and all that. So instead of worrying about specific individuals and trying to differentiate among them and rewards and punishments for all that, if you are really worried about improving the overall performance of the organization, then you look at the system in which they are all operating and change that system, basic system. Then the overall performance will really come about. Not by discriminating among individual employees and trying to motivate some and punish some and all that. That would help. But a systemic improvement would give you a much larger improvement than focusing on individuals. So these are some of the ideas that we can pick up from some statistical thinking. Thank you.